40 skiers contested the women's event. In this discipline, the athletes run on shortboards and they each have two 20-second passes, during which time they have to perform as many tricks as possible. Each trick has an assigned points value, which are reviewed and scored by a panel of judges. Any tricks performed outside of that 20-second window won't count towards the total. This is American Ronnie Bischoff-Barton. She's about to go into a succession of flips. How many can she cram into this pass? Crossing the wake, that's one. Into a second. She crams in a third. Decent hand pass that for the American. So now it's on to the second run, and this is now the toe pass. Again, 20 seconds to cram in as much as possible, or as much quality as possible. This time holding onto the line with 1 foot and performing toe hold tricks. During the prelims, Ronnie had managed the 8th highest score with 6,710 points. But she'd almost certainly need to up that to somewhere in the region of 7,500 points to have a chance of a medal. So Ronnie ending the run with a couple of line tricks. And all in all, two pretty good runs there from the American. She made a big improvement on her qualifying score as well. 7,830 points, over 1,100 more than her first round score. And that set the early benchmark for the other medal hopefuls. Next up, Angeliki Andriopoulou from Greece, starting her toe pass with a 720 rotation to the front, then immediately into a 540 to the back. Angeliki is also one of the favourites for the jump competition. We'll see her later going for a second World Championship there. Coming towards the end of her pass now, and she still had time to throw in a couple of line tricks. That's to say, jumping the board right over the top of the rope. Incredibly difficult to keep the balance. She goes for one last rotation, but misses the landing, and that marked the end of her run. So now for the hand pass. Andriopoulou winds herself up into a 360 to the front, then straight into a line trick, undeterred by that fall at the end of her toe pass. Riding the weight to bang in a quick succession of tricks. The top athletes will squeeze in as many as 15 or 16 into each 20-second window. A nice flip landed to the front, into a second, this time landed to the back. Time for one more, absolutely. Flip number 3, and that was a supreme hand pass from Andriopoulou. She knows it was good, but it could be that missed trick on the toe pass that lets her down. She was a silver medalist in shortboard at the last World Championships 2 years ago, and in with another shout of a medal here, as she outscored Ronnie Barton by just 10 points to move into the lead with 7.840. But there were still 3 big guns to go, none more so than Mandy Nightingale, the world #1 and current world record holder. She achieved the second best run in the preliminaries with 7,620, but with the scores going up all the time, she needed to improve on that. Using the weight to launch herself into a beautifully executed flip, then back across into a second. The 27-year-old lands another, this time to the back, and even squeezed in one more. Landing not quite as neat, but she's the first of the front runners to cram in 4 flips on her hand pass. So what could the defending and 2-time world champion do here? She starts the toe pass with a 7 to the front, then into a 360. Mandy Nightingale from Louisiana in the USA, she's won everything. The World Championships, the World Cup, the Mamba Masters, and she still keeps producing the goods. Now she's about to go into a series of line tricks, very difficult to master, but if you get it right, there are big points available. Almost taking a fall there, Nightingale just saves it and punches the air with delight because she's managed to stick that very difficult line trick. And on such things, World Championships are won. A great pass and reflected in the score, a whopping 8,150 points, pretty close to her personal best, and a score that put Nightingale within reach of a 3rd consecutive title. On the dock, Natalie Berdnikova, one of the rising stars of international water ski. Opting to take her toe pass first and showing terrific gymnastic abilities on the water. Only Clementine Lucine and Mandy Nightingale outscored her in the qualifiers. But could she raise her game in the final to the same extent that those more experienced athletes had managed? Well, it had certainly been a very promising start and a good toe pass for Berdnikova. Now onto the hand pass for the young Belarusian, and an explosive start as she threw herself straight into a line trick. Scores to beat: 8,150 for Mandy Nightingale, 7.840 for Angeliki Andriopoulou, and 7.830 for Ronnie Barton, currently in the bronze medal position. Into the flips now, that one landed to the front, straight into flip number 2. Brief pause, Then another flip, this one landed to the back. A big smile for Berdnikova, and rightly so. Some of those line tricks had been exquisite, and all round that was a stunning performance. Final score, 8,160, 10 more points than the current world champion, and Berdnikova was on course for the gold medal. Only one more athlete to go, Clémentine Lucine from France. Starting off with the toe pass, this was the woman who finished second at the last World Championships. Kicking things off with a 720 to the front, straight into a 540 to the back. Lucine coming into this final full of confidence after blowing everybody else away in the prelims, where she'd scored a massive 8,510 points. But impressive as that was, it's a clean slate in the finals, and it's only what you do at this stage that counts. But a very well executed toe pass, and crucially she nailed that final line trick. So it all boiled down to this. What happened in the next 20 seconds would determine the shortboard World Championships. Natalie Berdnikova currently in the gold medal position with 8,160. Clémentine Lucine absolutely going for it. The former junior world champion looking to secure the most prestigious title of her career. Crossing the wake, one flip, back across the wake, another flip. This one landed to the back. Lucine usually crams plenty in. Into a third, then straight into a fourth. And that was fast, it was furious, it was packed full of tricks. But most of all, it was all under control. Clémentine Lucine needed a big score, and she knew straight away she'd achieved it. Lucine, the new world champion. Final score, 8,430 points to take the victory. Berdnikova sensational in the runner-up spot, and it wasn't to be a third consecutive title for Nightingale. Instead, she had to settle for bronze.
It's so nice. I've been waiting for it for a long time, and it's really the only one I've been missing and I've been looking forward to have since so long, and I'm really, really happy to have it. It feels so nice.
So Lucine takes home the gold, and Berdnikova narrowly beats Nightingale to the silver medal. Still to come, men's shortboard and the jump competition. Oleg Deviatovsky, one of two Belarusians to make it through to the final 12. Starting the toe pass with a 540, followed by several 360s, really cramming the tricks in. Lightning quick feet, and their mind has to be pretty sharp too, as they reel off this succession of complex moves. Having finished second in the 2007 Shortboard World Cup, Deviatovsky had been on sparkling form here and put together a very impressive toe pass. Second pass for Deviatovsky at 33. He's been around for a while, and his CV boasts 4 European titles. He also finished third overall in the 1993 and 2001 World Championships. Terrific height on those flips, a couple of them back-to-back, and really fluid movement from Deviatovsky as he nailed a fourth, a fifth, and then a sixth at the end of that pass. He really hooked that up well and truly in the groove, and the scores reflected the performance. 11,140 points to put him into the lead. Only one other skier had gone past the 11,000 mark in the prelims, and that had been the legendary Nicolas Le Forestier. Next off the dock was Alexei Zarnasek. Having set the second highest score in the qualifiers, there was a very strong chance that he could make it 2 Belarusians on the podium at this World Championships. Hand pass first then, and an attacking and aerobatic start with 3 line jumps on the run. Great height from them, and then this spectacular forward flip to set him up for the run home. He was actually a bronze medalist at the last World Championships in slalom, but his main talents lie in shortboard, and he's a 3-time world cable ski tricks champion. A confident start then for the 27-year-old. Onto his toe pass, and Zarnasek, remember, was looking to beat a score of 11,140 set by countryman Oleg Deviatovsky. There had been almost nothing between them in the preliminaries, and a single well-executed trick could very well prove to be the difference between them here. Using the weight to set himself up for the line tricks, terrific acceleration through the rotations. Oh, but into the water at the very end of his pass. Would it be enough to take the lead? Indeed it was. 11,470 points after a particularly good hand pass, and Zarnasek was now guaranteed at least the silver medal. The problem for Zarnasek was that the last man to go was the hugely talented Nicolas Le Forestier, the defending world champion. Opposite to many of the others, the Frenchman kicked things off with a series of flips, 5 in total, before rolling smoothly into his line tricks. In the qualifying rounds, he posted a mammoth score of 11,960, some 1,300 points more than anybody else. and if his hand pass was anything to go by, it was going to be mighty hard to beat here. So Le Forestier onto his toe pass. He's the 13-time European champion, the current world champion, a former world junior champion. He's the current World Cup champion. He's won the French Masters, the Italian Masters, the US Masters, the Mumba Masters. In fact, he's quite good at what he does. Almost losing it there, though, right up on his toes, but he does pull it back. Straight into 2 more rotations, almost down again towards the end of that, but he defied gravity and completed the pass. The crowd thrilled with what they'd just witnessed. His personal best is well over the 12,000 mark, but in this competition, 11,860 would be more than enough to win the gold. Le Forestier now a 2-time world champion, and at this event, simply untouchable. So the top 3 in the men's shortboard make their way onto the podium after a very high-quality final.
Things are great. I mean, the conditions were perfect for skiing. It's great to be on top again. I was a bit nervous going into the finals, but we come right in the end, and that feels very, very good.
Confirmation of the results then.